Here we go. I guess thanks for joining us. Damien, you want to kind of give us like a quick rundown, a big picture, kind of where this stemmed from?
Oh, it's kind of stemmed from last week's, I guess, just talking about the marketing ideas and looking at different sources. And, another one was focused on, spending money, which I know is a kind of concern these days. So I just had a thought about looking at some things that we have in front of us that really don't cost money. A lot of tools that we have that you can utilize and that aren't going to cost a ton of that. I mean, I'm still a proponent of lead generation and finding what you can to put towards that, because I think that's the sort of longevity, the long play in the game. But I think we do have a lot of resources at our fingertips. Just put a few slides together to bring those to the forefront of your mind, I guess. So let's kind of go through those and see if any of them hit the mark.
I will share my screen. Not that one. Share another screen. Can you guys see? My screen? Yeah.
We got your browser.
Uh-oh. Just kidding. Was it good stuff?
There we go. Can you see that?
There we go.
Here we go.
So everybody's talking about recession and increased interest rates, and there's a little, here in the air, I guess. What do you believe? What do you buy into?
Doom and gloom.
Doom. So, I kind of was thinking, how to recession-proof your business? How to, recession-proof your real estate business? I think, we can all survive. I mean, we're all going to survive in 2023. I think the key is, how do we thrive? How do we make sure that we feel good, that we're doing the amount of business that we want to do? I think in every agent's mind, some agents are happy to close 10 deals, some agents are happy to close 30. It's all what you want to focus on, and what's your sort of benchmark of how you're going to feel that you are thriving. Because for me, that's the name of the game. It doesn't really matter how many deals you want to close. It's feeling successful. It's feeling productive. It's feeling that you are thriving. And I think a lot of people have sort of intrepidation, like, how am I going to do that in 2023? Because clearly we have entered a very different real estate market. I don't particularly believe it's doom and gloom. But, you've got to get out there and pound the streets a little harder, So, next slide. Again, just kind of saying you can't expect things to remain the same. And we can't expect to remain in that market we were in. I mean, personally, I thought it went on a lot longer than it was going to. 2014 is when it really kicked off. We had a couple plateaus. But we always had the low interest rates, which always kept it fueled, kept it going, all the way through to 2021, a little bit into 22. Make a plan. What are you going to do? I think without a plan, it's kind of like sailing, not flying. You can't just jump in a plane or jump in a boat and say, I'm going to go from here to there. You've got to lay out a flight plan. You've got to sail the way the wind's going. So and find that path and follow it. Communication. This is my hot button, I think, right now. We've got lots of areas that we can communicate. So we can communicate with ourselves, with our own peers. We can communicate with our agents. Talking to agents in our office, in your office, in the office. I think you get to see that, maybe you're not the only one that's a little afraid, a little concerned. You come up with some good ideas, and realizing, once you realize that everybody's in a similar mindset, I think that eases the burden a little bit. So, again, I think it's hard to argue that, nerves have been frayed. 2022, so used to the fires falling out of the sky. And we've heard so many negative connotations. 23 is going to be unpredictable. Inflation's getting hard. Things are going up. Rates are up. That's obvious, And of course, we've all got our own little, sort of negative connotation as to 2023. And I'd like to dispel that. I'd like to sort of switch the mindset and focus on, while everyone else is running for the hills, while everyone else I believe this is an opportunity. This is a time to rise above the rest, and absorb knowledge. Go out and find your opinion, your sort of take on what exactly is going on, because the people who aren't doing that are clients, are our leads, our buyers, our sellers. You know, if you're feeling ill, you can jump onto web.com, but you're going to get the wrong diagnosis. You want to go to the doctor.
Right, yeah. Don't speculate. This is,
Yeah.
I think my piece on the communication is key, and is while everybody else is doom and gloomy and not maintaining the correspondence of communication, here's my kind of thing on the doom and gloom. We have around 150,000 sides, meaning 75,000 transactions each year in Denver. Do we believe we'll see a reduction from the 150,000 sides? And I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, if it goes from 150 to 140, boo-hoo. I mean,
We still
a shit ton to get.
there's still 70,000 transactions. And I think my point, or what I wanted to hit on with the communication piece is if you're the agent that stops because, oh, rates are too high, you don't want to buy. Oh, it's too competitive, you don't want to sell, you're going to miss the opportunities.
And I think now is when your past client, your lead, your peer really need to hear from you.
Exactly.
They really need to have that. They want to know oracle. They need to basically get their heads out of the press, out of the news, and hear from someone who they value, who they trust, and that's you. And you can become that. You are that. You just got to get up.
And maintain. I mean, if you give up
maintain.
communication, they'll go with something
Because
else.
I don't believe they're going to reach out to you. There may be one or two. Hey, Jared, but really the vast majority, they're just not going to.
Right. Yeah, they stick with the agent that's communicating.
So yeah, 8 ways to, I think you can recession-proof your business. Can you drop that? What's that little stone? So, here's an easy one. Look for new market opportunities. As the market changes, look out there for new opportunities. An obvious one, sort of expand your territory. Some agents will go from Fort Collins down to the Springs. Other agents want to focus on Denver or Denver Metro. So, maybe you only want to focus on $800,000 and above. Well, it's time to, we all know how pretentious you are, man.
What?
You ain't step into a $375,000 fund. No. So I think, just looking at where you focus your business, and it's narrow, then try to broaden it. Again, if you're an agent that does go from Fort Collins down to the Springs, then look at taking some classes to get some designations. You could try something totally different, like divorce leads. Sounds a little negative, and I hate to say this, but in financial times, when things get tough, divorce rates go up. I put a little link at the bottom there. Great website. To be honest, I've just kind of perused it. I haven't gone through it in great detail, but it's a whole sort of course where you get this, divorce designation. Divorce this house helps you with leads. Gets a little designation, gives you some ideas on how to get into that. That would spin off into, working with lawyers and things like that. So get, while you're a little quiet, a little slow, get out there, find other courses, find other designations that you can get that give you legitimacy. That, you can say, hey, I've got this qualification and I know what's involved. You're also networking. You're also establishing additional networks by getting these designations.
But I think it's also, putting yourself into other arenas, other new chances to win, taking the designation is one side of it, and then actually chasing and pursuing the market, creating an event, for new home buyers, first time home buyers, or creating an event that shares how you can reduce your rate in this kind of a market, 3-2-1 buy downs.
Yeah, I sort of cut my teeth in real estate in the mortgage crisis, and I would work with a lot of people who were in foreclosure, sort of guiding them through that process. Some were able to save, some we weren't. Short sales, that was massive in the foreclosure crisis. There were so many pitfalls in short sales, and so many investors out there who were taking advantage of people in short sale. And a lot of those clients I worked with years afterwards. They came back, and I do believe if you work with people, helping people without an intention of like, I need to sell your house, I need to make money, but just helping, they will remember you. Yeah, maybe not all 10 of them or all 20 of them, but you will sort of establish business for the future. So again, try to look at the pre-foreclosures. You can reach out to those people. Renters, a lot of renters want to get out of their rental. And so this,
A lot of renters want to get out of their rental.
well, I think so. I mean, I don't know. A lot, some.
Some.
You're just negative. In this week's newsletter coming out, there is, from Keeping Current Matters, there is an article about renting and showing, yes, it's comfortable to stay in your rental and it's scary to buy a house, but this is how much money it can save you. This is projected growth over the next 4 to 5 years. So look out for that newsletter because it's a really good article on how to talk to renters and answer their questions that they'll have.
I got a question, I guess, for anybody. Has anybody actually considered or made the decision to enter a new market or a new niche, within this year? Anybody? Johnny?
I've been kind of working with, I have some investor friends that are, they've got multiple rentals under their, within their portfolio. And I've been working with them to just kind of stay on top of things. They're real good friends. So they reach out, they're like, hey, what's going on with this property? They're looking as well to really expand their portfolio. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about, making sure all the ducks in the row line up in a row for them because they're investors. They want to find a good rate. They don't want to be, they want to see if they can combine equity in all their properties to be able to purchase, larger ones. I mean, it's just a multitude of things that they're going through and that I've been sitting down, just kind of just chit chatting with them, go grab a beer. Hey guys, what's going on? What are your thoughts? Oh, well, my mother-in-law, we're having to look at purchasing, we've taken over her house. We quit claimed it to us. What should we do? Should we keep it? Should we sell it? I'm like, well, that all depends on what you guys want to do with it. Do you want to throw some money into it, update it, throw it on the rental market and continue that as it part of your portfolio? Or do you want to cash that equity out, take those funds and go dump them into your other rentals and bring those up to speed? There's all sorts of different things that I've been talking with them with. So just trying to.
Another idea there. I mean, if you've got investors, you can actually marry up renters with investors. If your renter's being kicked out of their house because the house is being full, the rent's being increased. You've got an investor who's renting out a house. Suddenly you marry up two people, you give a renter a good place to live, you give an investor a renter, you're golden. I mean, you've taken care of two people right there, so there's a lot of ways you can sort of marry up, looking for opportunities to bring two people together. Sure, it may not make you money right now, but again, it's about the longevity. I've spoken to surviving and thriving in 23, but this is continuing into 24 or 25 and onwards,
But I think it also goes back to service though, too. I mean, I get more referrals from people I've never closed deals with.
Yeah.
I mean, so I like it. I like the fact that you're helping them find creative routes and solutions.
Because they will talk to their friends and family, no doubt.
Definitely.
And one of the extra things, everyone that I've found that's very successful is I've got a handyman who is my go-to person. So whenever something breaks, whether it's at my house or whether it's at one of my investors, I refer him and I'm like, hey, he's your go-to guy. And they're always needing somebody to repair something. They're not like, hey, I want to do it myself. I have a couple of friends, investors that are like, yeah, I can tackle a water heater or something simple. But at the end of the day, they're like, I just need somebody to come in and do something. And I'm like, here, call my buddy Bobby. He's the handyman, get him in your place. And they've continually contacted him and reached out to him. And he's just a constant way. He's a
Value add for you.
He's a value add for me, but also to my investors and to my friends and family, because at the end of the day, he's always in front of them. So if I fall short of staying in front of someone, he's there on quote unquote on my behalf, if you will.
Love it. Love it.
Love it. If you've been on a couple classes with me, this is another one of my hot buttons. Don't stop marketing yourself. I can't stress how important this is. Back to social media, whether it's just Facebook or just Instagram, just getting yourself out there so people constantly see you. It's absolutely free and for nothing. Yeah, you can pay for ads if you want, but just putting yourself out there with the right hashtags is going to keep you, engaged. So really send out the weekly newsletter. Social media.
Yeah.
We honestly can't be making it any easier to copy and paste into social media. So yeah, video online, market yourself, put yourself out there. This is really not the time to, basically say that become a secret agent. People want to know you. You don't need to be hiding in the wings. Become front and center. They want to hear from you. When they have questions, they will reach out. It could just be on something that you put out there about the market, and they will ask questions. And when you're there to answer, they will remember you.
And I think it's, layering in those items of value. We have a home buyer's guide, we have a listing, we have a seller's
Homes
guide.
report.
Right, we've got a market report, we can set up property searches. I mean, we have so many things that we could offer as items of value on social media that I think we should be utilizing them. Hey, could anybody use a home buyer's guide? Download it here. So I think putting those elements out there, A, shows your relevance, B, shares items of value, but then also, front of mind. I mean, it keeps you keeps you in front of mind, all of them.
Don't be afraid. If you've engaged with someone who may be new to your sphere, or maybe they've been in your sphere for a while, and they own a home and they've never spoken about selling or buying, but they're engaging with you, ask them, say, hey, can I put you into my CRM? I can send you, market reports, home reports. They'll just come to you automatically. Most people are going to say yes. Why not? It's just a soft sell, but you have them in your system, and you can just now send them some pretty good information, about their neighborhood, about their home value. That's all in there in the agent platform.
Love it.
Speaking of the agent platform, again, utilize your CRM, build and manage your database. Just like I said, don't be afraid to ask to put someone in there. You don't have to say, I want to sell your house, or when do you want to sell your house? Just say, hey, I've got some great information that I think will be, beneficial to you in these uncertain times. Let me just, put you in, put your email, and I can send you some market reports. It's that simple, So, it's maintaining and establishing those contacts, staying in front of your pipeline. Again, is paramount. You've got an audience there. It's in front of you. Set up those drip campaigns, tag them, add all the relevant tags. This person is not ever selling. I mean, that can be a friggin' tag. It doesn't matter. But at least you know who you're sort of targeting, marketing to. And then when you get responses, you can group them, add stuff, etc., etc. So, look at your CRM as your assistant. Look at that person that you can't afford to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month to manage your business. That's for CRM. You can really set it up, and it does the heavy lifting. It really does.
It's like literally what it was designed for.
Well, yeah, but we need to utilize it.
Well, so if I was to share my own personal experience with CRM, is it was my gauge on my business, in a sense that when I opened and I had 0 leads, it was crystal clear where my business was at. I also realized that once I started to build and acquire the leads, I realized how much effort it was to get name, email, and phone number, contact information, generating leads. So generating leads is difficult. But then once I had the leads, if I didn't follow up, I might as well not even gotten the lead.
Correct.
So, if you put all of that work into generating leads, getting that contact info, put it into your CRM, set automated text and email campaigns, but don't give up the phone calls. Don't give up the contact. That wasn't even one of the 8 tips. That's just like maintain contact. So communication is key. So I think with the CRM piece, it really is. It takes so much to generate the lead, but if you don't maintain the contact and the follow-up, you might as well not spend the time or the money to even generate the lead. So
true. Again, back to communication. I've come across these 3 questions more in the past 9-10 months than ever before. Are we going to repeat 2008? Will the recession affect my property value? And should I buy or sell in 2023? These are 3 solid questions I think everybody needs to educate themselves on. If you're not sure, reach out to me and Jared.
Yes, you should sell and buy in 2023.
Because I need to pay my mortgage.
Yeah,
and get that.
it will impact your value. It may go up, may go down, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we will not see
No,
2023.
we will not see 2008.
No.
And for those who, got the license after 2008, we would throw it underneath you, sit down and have a conversation. I will categorically tell you we are not going to repeat 2008. Simply did not do the mortgages between 2012 and 2021.
And
we did before that.
There's too much equity in most people's houses.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can salvage. If somebody wants to, lose their job, can't pay the mortgage, there's 101 answers. And yeah, people are not going upside down just by the pure equity. They may lose some equity, but then it's all relative. You know what I mean? So again, educate, go out, do some research, see your fellow agents, or me or Jared. I mean, there's a wealth of information, and get different people's opinions, different people's ideas. And through that, you form your own. And once you can answer someone's questions with confidence and clarity, and they may need calming down, they may need some sort of stability. If you're that person and they see that across the board, you are going to become their go-to person for now and in the future.
Can I interject?
Of course,
Yeah,
Haley.
So what I would say is don't be, first and foremost, listen to what the people are saying.
Sure.
Like listen for your opportunity to educate, and don't be afraid to ask, the person in front of you, not only just for their business, but first and foremost, like, don't be afraid to ask them where they're at and why they feel like they can't do something, for example. I recently had somebody Facebook messaged me. They know somebody that I know. And they said, hey, I'm really interested in, rent to own. Was wondering if we can have a conversation and educate on that. Well, anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm not a big fan of rent to own. But I don't just say that, I said, absolutely, let's talk. So I scheduled the appointment, got them on the phone, and just started to ask them questions about their current situation, what their goals are, and why they're considering rent to own over actually buying a place.
Right.
And just from listening and being and recognizing when to say, well, have you considered talking to a lender today? And this is why, between down payment assistance and people being able to take advantage of seller concessions, and in many cases that are able to cover all of their closing cost expense.
Right.
As soon as I had that conversation, it turned into, well, absolutely, we want to know what our options are. Can I talk to your lender? And now they're pre-approved and ready to start shopping. And all of that was based off of really asking them about their situation and listening to it to know, how to ask for the opportunity. Because obviously my go-to is, listen, you're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense for you, right?
Right.
That's my go-to. And
Right.
and then it's like, oh, well, yeah, okay, well, knowledge is power. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Until you know it.
Right. Well,
So don't
but
be afraid to have that conversation.
But how valuable is what you said, just listening to the client. They'll share how they're feeling. And if we start off by talking and sharing how we feel, we may miss how they feel. We also probably will douse not even douse, but we'll probably fuel their fear because we're not agreeing, we're not validating, we're not even listening. So I think listening to it and then feeling it with data is where you win. I love it, Haley.
Yeah, and it's that, the person who controls the conversation asks the question.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, just ask questions. You can't ask questions because then you're engaging, you're showing interest in that person. You're asking how they feel, what do they want, where do they see, all of that, instead of just rambling on, really engage. And as Ellie said, ask the questions. You will get so much information just from asking questions.
And just remember, guys, it might not be that person that right now is truly not the right time for that person to buy, but that doesn't mean that they won't be at some point. That right there, listen, our business is a pipeline business.
Right.
So if you are having multiple conversations with people, and some are ready now and some are ready in 6 months and some are ready in a year, all you're doing is giving yourself the opportunity to maintain a relationship with people. They get to see how committed you are to them and their success, and that's how you earn referrals once the time comes that they do close. So stay consistent in the communication, as Damien said, stay consistent with that, and just be their source of information and support.
I love it.
And one question I always ask myself, well, I guess these two questions.
Do I look pretty?
I didn't have this question. I know. If I was this person in this situation, would I buy? Would I buy a house or would I sell? The other question I ask myself is, if I was this person, would I buy this particular house? Because I think if you put yourself in their shoes, really trying to get to see it from their perspective, you're brutally honest. And truthfully, if you wouldn't buy at this point in time because of their current financial situation or where they're sitting, their credit score is 620, and you know they're going to get a better deal, a better interest rate at 660, and there's a route and a path to fix their credit score. If you wouldn't, then how can you advise them to? You will gain so much trust and so much confidence that they will come back to you.
Right.
And I can't tell you the amount of time I told people, you're not buying this house. I don't care how much you like it. You're simply not buying this fucking house.
And then they called me and I said,
yeah, they called Jared. No. So that's just my go-to. Would I do this if I was this person?
Great. I think that's it. Is Haley touched on a topic, and this is something that I always realized from the beginning. No doesn't mean never.
No, it just means
not right now.
Yeah.
Right. So no doesn't mean never. It just means not right now. So and that's something that always resonated with me. So just because it wasn't the time right now, this goes back to lead gen. It took me how much effort to get that contact, and them saying no now only means I just need to be ready when they're ready.
Yeah.
Ready, willing, and able is something that I look at. Some people are ready, some people are willing, but maybe not able.
Right.
Right.
Not right now.
Right.
Next month.
So-
Next year.
So no doesn't mean never. It just means not right now.
Yeah. Some of the deals I closed last year, I've had in my CRM for 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
Just keep on touching them, sending them stuff. When they're showing interest in a property, call them. I've actually closed deals that have been 3+ years in my CRM.
I was chatting with somebody yesterday, and I had one of my listings that I had last year that fell through, didn't close, is an appointment I went on in 2015. And they're like, "What? Why are you still hanging on?" I was like, "Because it's 3 million in business." And not only that, I signed up to help them, not tell them when no, you got to do it now. No, you'll tell me when it's right. Right. So, is it just because it's not right now doesn't mean it's not down the road. Yeah. Right. So I like what you said, Haley.
Not to mention too, I mean, how many people here, in this meeting have had buyers who dropped out from shopping because of how high the rates got within the last 6 months?
Right. And
that's an opportunity. In my opinion, that's an opportunity to call every single one of those people and say, "Hey, listen, rates are coming down. Have you considered down payment assistance and the possibility of getting seller concession?" Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so happy for my client that's closing on Friday. The only out-of-pocket she ended up having, the only out-of-pocket expense was her inspection stuff.
Right.
For all the credits she got. So that right there is an opportunity to contact all those people that it didn't work out and say, "Hey, look at the buying trend today."
Yeah, and just to add to that, get with the lender. Get with the lender who's qualified buyer and just say, "Okay, exactly how much credits can I get? How many dollars?" So is it 9,000, 10,000, 16,000? So you know exactly how much they can get, and then you can strategize and come up on how you can best utilize those funds. And so communicate with that buyer's lender. Find out what concessions you can offer.
Good stuff. Anybody else have any thoughts on client communication?
Yeah, so touched on this in the last class. find out what your ROI, rate of return, an investor's not going to buy a property unless they know what their rate of return is, and that's a hot button for them. It should be a hot button for you, where are you spending your marketing dollars and what are you getting back? You need to take a hard look at that. And if it's not working, then find something else. Maybe you're spending money on Google leads, but it's just not getting the good rate of return. Maybe diversify some of that money into Bing or Facebook or various other ways. So really get to grips with where your money is going. One is going to make you feel better when you're generating more leads from the money you're spending. It can be pretty despondent when you're out there and you're spending $500 a month and you're getting 10 leads for some bizarre reason. Okay, why? What's going on here? Or you are getting 50 leads a month, but they're just not converting. Dig into that. Find out how you can sort of best utilize that. And if it's not working, stop it. Find something else. So yeah, dig into your lead gen. If you're not doing lead gen, talk about money, but you've got to look at something. You've got to
Correct reflection. I said this yesterday. I said if you can't clearly articulate your lead, like your lead source, you have no lead source.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, gone are the days of floor time. When was the last time anybody did floor time? I mean, it's gone. Coming to the office, things like that. So really, everything now is lead. It's not. I mean, if it was a lead gen, but getting out there and generating those leads because everyone else is. So if you're not,
yeah, but floor time is online now.
Yeah.
Before I had to call an office because I had to find an agent in my area to help me. But now, if you're not online and you're not promoting yourself, you're not sharing on social media. That's kind of that floor time. That's who they call when they're ready. Totally. So I think that's the biggest difference is if you can't genuinely articulate, where your leads are coming from, you don't have a lead source. And I think that's where you have to attach yourself to a lead source, no matter what it is, whether it's door knocking, whether it's buying realtor.com leads, whether Google ads, whether promoting your agent branded website. If you can articulate your lead gen strategy, you don't have one. So, I mean, I think that I challenge everybody to ask that question. And if you can't answer it, it's pretty crystal clear.
all right, next slide.
Nope. Go the other.
Again, just touching on some earlier slides, you need to stay informed. What's going on in the real estate market, and what's going on sort of economically. This just harkens back to the questions you are going to get, or the questions you want to get. You want people to reach out to you. You want to ask people these questions. And again, don't be afraid to say, hey, do you happen to think that we're going to follow 2008? Engage them on those sort of things, but don't ask that question if you don't know the answer. So again, there's so many resources you can reach out to educate yourself, to find out what is going on, and sort of disseminate between all the bullshit up at the top, all the scaremongering. Wipe that off the table, dig deep, and really find out what people are saying out there. What keeping current matters, the close. There's a lot of information websites out there.
Yeah, but participating in title classes, going to economic lender events, go to your realtors association and look at the events that they're hosting and having. There's a lot of data and a lot of economic forecasting, I think, taking place. I think it's just a matter of actually just being in the forefront of it. But I think utilizing this also helps fuel social media content. If I put this on and say, hey, how does everybody feel? The market's going to look over this next year. You're going to hear kind of that. Yeah, you're going to hear those opinions. That's where you can then fuel it with the data and the support. It's not trying to prove somebody right or wrong. I think it's just a matter of just sharing the information that's available.
Yeah, I mean, a really, really easy thing to do is just pull up some stats on your neighborhood, and you can post some pretty interesting information.
Hey, I noticed this about my neighborhood recently.
Yeah.
This isn't about you. This is about me. Like, hey, I noticed it. How do you feel?
How do you feel? Yeah. And how you get those clients engaged is by using those hashtags, hashtag neighborhood A, hashtag, you know, Jefferson County. I mean, you can use hashtags to direct that to people that you've never seen, never spoken to, because it appears on their feeds as well, you know. So, but then do that because you know the answers, you have the answers, and you're confident. The way you get that, as Haley said, knowledge is power. Go up, research, learn, and form your own opinions.
Well, and this just boils down to being,
Yeah.
you know, and one of my go-to things, somebody asked a question I don't know the answer to,
I'll ask Damien.
which rarely happens. I just always say, great question, pretty good idea, let me get some specifics and I'll get right back to you. So, I mean, we don't have to be the experts always, but we at least have to be the most resourceful.
True. Going digital. I mean, I think a lot of us are pretty digital already. I mean, you know, we've obviously got the MLS, you've got CTM, various other means, but, you know, take a look at your website. You know, take a look at how you can make that even better, even more attractive. I promised I wouldn't bring up money, so I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here, but it's not a lot of money. Is, you know, you can use things like Social Media Pro, you've got the AI, you can do a customizable website. You know, if you use 2 of those 3 things from the Agent platform, it's $100 a month, you know. So these are things that you can bring in that are going to do the heavy lifting. They're going to work for you. So, you know, seriously look at like, how are you reaching out? How digital are you? You know, and harnessing what you have within there. I doubt anybody's not using CTME. If you're not, use it, you know, get onto that. And sort of various other sources. But yeah, just look at how digital are you. It can do a lot of the heavy work, a lot of stuff behind the scenes, to be honest with you. You know, we all promote calling and getting on the phone. But as I said, the AI assistant can do a lot of that ice breaking for you. And then you jump in halfway through a conversation when you see, you know, even a positive or negative response from that lead. You can jump in, you know, because you can find the questions that are being asked. So.
And even just take advantage of the auto text and email campaigns, you know, once you engage and initiate those individuals or clients, they've heard your voicemail before, them receiving texts and emails after that, A, it took no additional effort. B, it maintains the communication and follow-up that's essential for you to stay front of mind. But if you're not utilizing it, you're missing probably one of the easiest, you know, elements we could be doing to insulate ourselves in the business.
And you know, it's things like, you know, making sure that your emails have all your information, you know, obviously your cell number, how to contact you, your URL, if you've got, you know, putting your social media there, you know, so that people can reach you in various forms. That's also what I mean by digital, is making sure that it all sort of correlates across everything. And that's what you now automatically fall into branding without even trying to brand.
Right.
You know, you're just branding yourself. So make sure that it's always out there for people to check on and find you. Again, at least, you know, times of uncertainty, and I say using that word, it can feel lonely to be out there on your own. It can feel like you're just, you know, in the middle of the ocean, flailing about. How do you keep your chin above water? A really good solution, or, you know, possible solution, is to look at joining a team. You know, sure, you may earn less commission. Totally understand that, but something's better than nothing. And sometimes we thrive better in that sort of camaraderie, that team feel. We're sort of almost, you know, from the beginning, coming on your own. You sort of, you know, independently hang your license with the brokerage. Teams are a lot more popular these days. Some people like them, some don't. I totally appreciate that. You know, so even just exploring a team, looking at how it works, it gives you that feeling of like, I'm working, I'm interacting, I'm getting good ideas. Working with one buyer and getting a commission is not working with 0 buyers looking, where's my next lead coming from? Where's my next deal coming from? You know, so again, recession proofing yourself could be joining a team and becoming a valuable member of that team. I know a few people that make a lot of money on a team.
You know, I think one thing that I think somebody's brought up to me recently was, hey, you know, we're wanting to partner up, You know, we're wanting to partner up and build a team together. When we kind of spent more time digesting and really looking at what they were wanting to accomplish, it really came down to more them wanting an accountability partner. You know, and I think joining a team too isn't just, hey, I'm looking for handouts and freebies. No, I think it's also having that accountability buddy. I'm kind of lucky. I've got Brittany. You know, Brittany and I, we talk shop, we talk work. You know, she is kind of my accountability buddy. Kind of vice versa. So I think, you know,
Brittany.
hey, whether you're joining a team, whether you want to partner up and have an accountability buddy, if there's something more that you want with your business, make sure you partner with your broker, partner with me. You know, reach out to anybody within the industry, reach out to a friend. You know, I think working together is where you're going to find more results.
And that's what I was saying, you know, getting out there and talking to agents, you know, within our company, talk to agents and other companies, you know, and that's a form of accountability, is, you know, reaching out and even say to somebody, hey, you know, the accountability buddy I do, would you like to maybe talk once a week, you know, maybe grab a coffee. You'd be amazed at what comes out of that, because feeling productive, feeling like you're moving forward is so much of the key to who we are, what we are, and how we generate business. If you're feeling stagnant, and it's difficult sometimes to get up and
Keep going. Yeah.
you know, but if you're going and, you know, you just feel like you're being productive, it really starts manifesting some really good things.
And I think that, you know, unfortunately, most people feel disappointing somebody else is heavier than disappointing myself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where kind of joining a team or having that accountability buddy really does help with that, because if I'm not willing to do it for myself, but I'm also not willing to let you down, at least it's being done.
Yeah.
So I think raise your hand if you need more support. If you need a buddy, you need a team member, you need something like that, reach out to any of us. We'd love to kind of help partner up those of anybody who needs it, wants it.
Absolutely. 100%. So yeah, I guess, you know, over to you. We've put the slide, I guess, directly, you know, reach out, ask questions, come to myself, Jared, Haley, anybody. You know, we've all got some good information. And truthfully, if we don't have the answer, we'll find the answer. We'll come up with a solution. You know?
Here's something that we met with an individual that we've worked with for years, just the other day. And one thing that he said is he just doesn't know why. He doesn't know his why. He doesn't know his why. But it's also
been in the game for a long time.
And it's also fueling his lack of desire to even participate.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that kind of goes back to you. You know, we're putting this back into everybody's court because it really does boil down to me. You know, what's my why?
Yeah.
Why do I show up every day? Why do I get up? Why do I make the calls? Why do I generate the leads? Why am I participating on social media? Why am I doing all this? And if I don't know why, it just won't happen.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we even here? Right.
I know.
But I think that's maybe what I wanted to share too, is spend maybe some time identifying why. Why do you want to do this? What's going to drive and motivate you? I'll share my why.
That's sorry to cut you off, but that back to you know, your vision, your mission, and what was that? Help me out.
Your mission, your vision, and your values. Right.
Thank you.
Right. So, but I think that's a big part too, though, is if you haven't identified the why, it's probably a big part of why you're not finding the result.
Yeah.
Right. I'll share my why is really, you know, why I do it is I want my family to be proud of me. You know, so I ask myself that each day, you know, with what I've accomplished today, would my family be proud of me? Some of the things I accomplished, maybe not, right? But that's not every day. You know, I wake up very motivated, very driven, and very excited about participating in my business, but I know why I want it. So I think that's a big part.
No, I agree. And then you can just print this last slide. It's just the 8, you know, if you want to post it to your laptop, post it to a wall, whatever. Just, you know, those are the 8 things there you can look at and see which ones jump out to you. But, you know, I'd say try to do, you know, obviously all 7, and the 8th is just another option to look at. You know, I think you should implement at least 7 of those 8 ideas.
I love it. I mean, but even putting this in front of you, this is something you should ask yourself every day, every week. You know, am I looking for new opportunities? You know, am I marketing myself and putting myself out there? Am I utilizing my CRM, managing my database? Am I communicating, you know, with my clients? Is there an actual return on my investment? I think all of these are essential to be asking ourselves each day, but then not just asking it. We were on our class yesterday, and I'm throwing it out there. You know, when Megan was teaching us, she says, "Oh, look, here's an opportunity. They looked at these properties. I should set it to do." No, you should call.
Yeah.
You should call the person. Don't set it to do something. Right.
Set it to call next week.
Great. No, just
call
call
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so
Hey, I
no-
saw you looked at 4 properties. Any interest? You know, and if they don't answer, then send a text.
Right.
You know.
and it's just being brave. It's identifying your why. It's waking up with purpose. But I think really, you know, looking at it from this angle, are we actively participating? You know, am I actively engaged? Am I actively involved? And if we're not actively engaged and involved daily, it's crystal clear kind of where this
Where
business
it's gonna go.
Yeah. So,
Any questions?
any thoughts? Any feedback? Any wishes? Hopes? Any ahas? No. That's it. That's kind of what we got. I hope everybody kind of pulled something from it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just participate. If you did anything today, start with your why. Haley, it looks like you maybe have something to say. Do you? We'd love to hear
Nope, sorry. I'm good.
it. Good.
All right,
We
guys,
sure
I
appreciate you.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
If you guys need anything, reach out, let us know. But yeah, thanks everybody.
All right, thanks, guys.